coalition has been able to get a majority. The same is deadlocked. There are too many parties, and many of the parties declare themselves to be centrist, leftist, rightist. The deputies of the same have taken the oath. The leftist parties have difficulties after it was learned that the Polish Working Party had received support from the Soviet Communist Party. Where will Poland go after this? In spite of the difficult struggle for the position of Prime Minister, it does appear that the situation may be somewhat stabilized. There is, after all, the balanced position of President Wałęsa. And we have a number of reforms which have taken place which will be difficult to overturn. And we have here the government of Bielecki is trying to carry out its obligations. In Bratislava, in Slovakia, after the warm fall, we're seeing the warm winter. So we don't believe the government. This is what the workers of Slovakia say. It's a warning strike, but if the government does not guarantee that it will observe the general agreement, there will be a general strike. The strikers here in Czechia have accepted the apology of the government. We think this may be political in nature, but in Czechia, the economic situation is different than in Slovakia. Things in Slovakia are 3 times worse than was guaranteed by the government agreement. And there's a high level of unemployment and a low level of real income. There is, of course, a nationalistic hidden text here, and also a conflict with the unions. And today's negotiations did not produce any results. The country desperately needs political stability, for it finds itself in a dead end. In Belgium, we have elections which took place. The ecological party and the extreme rightist parties have made advances. Also, there is participation by the socialists and the extreme left. The head of the Israeli government, Yitzhak Shamir, has announced that there is no crisis of confidence between the USA and Israel. In leading circles of Israel, there was a good deal of dissatisfaction with the U.S. administration, which unilaterally sent out invitations to continue in Washington the negotiations which had commenced in Madrid. As is well known, the negotiations have to do with the Near East. Unfortunately, our cultural news are not very bright. The Stroganov School of Design, which is 170 years old today, is in a state of collapse. This is an exhibition of the Stroganov School of Design. They design cars, furniture, housewares, and their school has been in existence for more than a century and a half. But now they're in a state of near bankruptcy. There's no money for teachers, for materials, or any supplies. How can graduates of your school can be particularly of help to small companies? They're not just designers, they're also experts in the technological side of the question. If we're talking about furniture, for example, they're capable of being very professional in resolving such questions. 100 years ago, when Russian industry was very popular in Europe, the Stroganov graduates were very much in demand. But can it be that today, not we, but the Americans and the French will buy up our talented people? Of course, it will be annoying if this oldest design school in Russia, which has gone through so many difficulties, will perish now. This is a national treasure. According to Radio Liberty, at the Sotheby's auction in London, the manuscripts and diaries of Pasternak were sold at auction for $54,000. But can it be that this national treasure of Russia can be measured in money? Good evening, dear viewers. Today is an anniversary of the Spartak soccer club. Today, Spartak received a honorary document testifying as to its anniversary date. Here we saw the Spartak team win over its opponent 2-1. There was also a soccer meet with the CSK, and Mr. Shapishnikov, who is the Minister of Defense, handed out to the soccer players their prizes, and he complimented them on their game. And here was the photograph which they took at the end of his speech. And here we have the quarter-finals for women's soccer. Here we see the team. We see Digman. This is Denmark playing against Germany. And after 7 minutes, they managed to drive in a goal. Here the score is 1-1. But then there was extra time, and then there was a victorious goal of 2-1. And at the semifinals, the German women's hockey players will meet with the Americans. This is the only ball which the Swedish player Sinkiak managed to nearly get through. Here we see the match which will take place with Norway in November. Here we have slalom competitions. Here's Alberto Tomba, who first became famous after his performance in Calgary in 1988, when he won 2 medals during the Olympic season. And he was like a rocket who shot up into the horizon, on the horizon of skiing. We hope that new season will be even more successful for him. But he admitted that it's becoming more and more difficult to win these competitions. In New York, we see the Virginia Slims tournament. Here we have Marina Navratilova, who lost to Monica Seles, who is 18 years old and from Yugoslavia. But it would appear that Navratilova was not able to keep up with Seles's onslaught. Seles may well be the best woman tennis player in the world. Other news which we received today in the Arab sports, we see the Kievan Goodside, who in the fencing competition in Athens won at the World Cup saber competition over the Frenchman Dorrier. Chilusevsky also did very well in the races in Berlin, 1 kilometer. Louise Carlson in Sweden showed herself to be a very successful competitor. In checkers, we saw Alexei Chershov and Guntis Balneris had their tournament be put off. Weightlifting, here we see Sadi Dik, who lifted 240 kilograms. The 30-year-old competitor lifted a total in the competition of 430 kilograms. And one last piece of news, the French popular singer Patricia Cass has visited the Soviet Union. She's going to visit Moscow, Petersburg, and Magadan. Her somewhat hoarse voice is known to so many people. She's driving men out of their minds. And men are ready to follow her everywhere, to listen to each couplet in her songs. Although her songs are perhaps as old as time itself. Patricia Cass leaves no one indifferent. We all have her in front of us. The whole country is singing her songs. She's compared with her plastic abilities with Liza Minnelli or with her magnetic qualities with Marlene Dietrich.